Welcome to Jerry's journey on going solar, and today is day 4 of a rainy day, and as you notice, nothing is plugged into the Jackery units because they did not survive last night. They went down to 4%. Everything was yanked, including the night light. The night light ended up over there for now. They spent the entire day charging from 4% each. Right now, with an hour to go of potential sunlight, there's still 80 watts coming in. We have one unit at 45, the other at 44. Once it becomes 8 o'clock or maybe 9 o'clock, I'll stick the fish aquarium on there, and that should be okay overnight. And tomorrow will be the next day of this 5 days, maybe 6 days of rain. And so again, unless you have more battery backups, it doesn't take much to drain these units on minimal usage. Maintaining an office and a fish aquarium and a nightlight isn't sufficient to be recharged the next day. But give me a sunny day and I'm running the family room and the freezer as well. And these units really collect the solar energy and put it out, all while being well plugged in. They charge up in an hour or two while feeding those items that I mentioned. So that's the Jackery update. Let's go to the Raidant, the Raidant Foil. Welcome to the attic. Just giving you an update of where we got. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of junk in the way, but that section that I said that I needed to finish to declare that the one side of the house is done, well, that's where all the junk went, because not only did I get it done, we have a good portion of the other side of the house done. That little gap that you see up there is the allowable gap that you're supposed to have, otherwise you create moisture. But this foil is supposed to trap the heat or coldness between the foil and the rafters. But as you might be seeing, I got a good portion of this side done. I took an hour break this afternoon, being Sunday, Memorial weekend. It's Sunday, and the 24th. So when you watch this or upload this, it's going to be a little bit later. But nonetheless, basically what I have left is that small section. In other words, probably 1.5 sheets is what I need to do for that. And then I am going to do my best to crawl inside there and see if I can do anything about putting something there as well. And I think I'm also going to attempt, and I'm saving it for last, to crawl inside there as well, because that's right over a room, and every little bit of keeping the heat out, since I especially have the foil, I might as well use it. And but I might get stuck. So if you don't hear from me for a few days, you know I got stuck. Just kidding. I would hope the family would pull me out sooner than that. Anyways, that's it for the update here. Next update is on saving some money, and we'll pick up there. All right, our next update happens to be the fact that the electric bill came out, and as a reminder, any savings is based on a non-exactness of calculation here. And what I mean by that is that every month, except for one, every month our electric bill wattage usage has always gone up, and the exception was down just a touch. Okay, so you might as well say it was even. So we're either even or it increased. So I'm using last year as the standard for each month, and when the new electric bill comes out, I compare to what it was last year. Now I can't compare dollar for dollar because the rates are different. So what I have done is taken the amount of kilowatt usage from last year at this time, subtract what I used this year in the same month, and came up with whatever value that happens to be. And then I multiply to turn it into dollars what the current rate happens to be, because that's current savings. And what it came out to be this time around is that I ended up saving $36.40. Last time I saved $49.42. So I kind of went down, and that's a little disappointing. Now, the reason why I say it's non-scientific is because I did not measure every kilowatt hours used. Did we actually use the Jackery unit a whole lot more and saved and used a whole lot of kilowatt hours, but at the same time used an overabundance of kilowatt hours? And that's a possibility. As my wife said, especially in the month of April, because that's what this is referring to, she was wondering if it was ever going to warm up. So therefore, we were kind of using the heat pump more than usual, even though when I compare the temperatures on the bill that they give us, they're somewhat comparable. The only thing I can think of is that since they just give you the average of the month and not the actual temperature, they do give you a high and low, by the way. The highest temperature it reached and the lowest temperature it reached. And they, like I said, the trend seemed to be pretty much even in the year's time. The only thing I can think of is that 3 out of 4 weeks, if they were cold and needed the heat pump back in last April, I know we had a week of very warm temperatures and didn't need anything, as opposed to this past April where we basically needed it all the time. And if there was a high temperature, it was just for a day. Like I said, I don't know exactly the situation. Did we have more lights on? And like I said, the Jackery unit was able to suck that up. But just comparing raw numbers that I have, I can only compare kilowatt usage from last month at this time, from last year to this year's last month. And I still saved $36. Now, that averages out to $42.50 that I'm saving a month on these 2 units. And that might be, hey, that's a reduction. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth, whatever phrase that means. But nonetheless, $42.50 back-to-back months. That's over $80 that's in your pocket and not the electric company, and I'm thankful for that. However, if I'm looking at it from the perspective of I'd like this to pay off the units themselves, not buying anything else at this point, it's going to take me, according to the equipment I bought, and the wood and special tools that I had to buy and stuff like that, all of which is supposed to be part of this, it's only going to take 22 years to pay off. You heard me correctly. So unless I'm pulling in a whole lot more kilowatts and storing it for a whole lot longer, which means I need more batteries, battery backups, instead of what I have, because at this point what I have is only good for 24 hours. But if I were to have all 5 battery backups, plus a second unit and 5 more batteries, they say that that will give you 60 kilowatt hours. And that does not account, by the way, that's just storage. That does not account during the day when, on a sunny day, that the kilowatts that are coming in, that you, everything that's plugged to it, what that would turn out to be. And, in other words, that 60 kilowatts is only in the battery, but if you max them all out, if they're all charged up, and you have things plugged into it throughout the sunny part of the day, you're saving still a lot. So you're actually going beyond 60 kilowatt hours. But that's just it. You need a lot of battery to take advantage of knocking off that electric bill or reducing it so minimally to a point that, we're talking well under $100, if anything, for an electric bill. There will be something, because I understand that you have hookup fees and staying connected is a fee. Again, I didn't buy it to the unit to get off grid necessarily. That's a bonus. I didn't get it to eliminate the electric bill. That's a bonus. What I got it for is, again, gas powered generators just don't seem to be the answer in a time of crisis, because they're less than 24 hours of juice and they need breaks. And whole house generator is only good for 7 days until you need another fill up, and that's going to get expensive. You're filling up every week in a long extended situation. Yes, cloudy days would ruin the situation with going on solar, but you have more of an opportunity there because no one has to come to you and you don't have to go to anyone else. So that's the primary purpose for doing that. And by the way, Jackery offered a contest, and the contest top prize is the Explorer 5000, and they're only giving one of those away. And boy, wouldn't that be nice if, under my situation of potential unemployment come July 15th, and it's assumed that way because we already have one of our staff members that were told we don't want you, and it's expected that all of us are going to be given that story because of the nonsense that went with undercutting all kinds of salaries. But nonetheless, I contacted them and or entered that contest, and boy, that would be wonderful to get a second unit, and then I could use the STS and hook it up to the panel and go from there. Of course, that would mean another set of solar panels, but then again, I could just yank those, put it onto the second unit, and charge it up, and then keep switching back and forth. It's a manual labor, but hey, a free unit would be a free unit. But what's the odds of me getting that? Probably 0 to nil. Nonetheless, if you don't enter, you don't win. And I'm not hanging my hope on that. It didn't cost me anything to join. The second thing is that I did contact them personally and gave them my situation, that, hey, I'm documenting this and I'm actually, in a sense, promoting you. Would you be so kind to contribute something to it, to my journey and my documentation? And I just did this. I believe it was it Saturday night? I forget when it was. It was just in the past couple of days, and sent that message to them. It was to their marketing team. It was actually Friday late afternoon, and they're on the West Coast, so that's lunchtime for them, and waiting to hear back if anything. So there's that. I also contacted the Solar Lab. That's the name of their YouTube channel, and I gained a lot of information from there. And I wondered, hey, what do you guys do with the equipment once you have tested it out? If I could take it off your hands, I'd pay for the shipping, and And here's my situation, again, giving them the story. And it's not just, like someone making up a story. Oh, poor me, it's a sob story. No, I would like to really express the journey that's about this, but now it's stalled because I don't have any income guaranteed to come in. There's potential, but potential is not in hand. And unless it's in hand, I'm not spending any extra money on anything. So I'm putting out feelers there, hoping that something responds, because even if I could get one more battery backup, and that's $2,400 a clip, that's a real challenge there. And but that would give me, hopefully, an extra day, so that we could at least go between sunny day, rainy day, here's another sunny day, rainy day, and go back and forth. We'd survive on minimal equipment. Oh, and one last thing. I contacted, as far as spending money, I always plan out, and just in case I do have a few extra dollars somewhere, I did contact several, sorry, being in the attic, I'm not going to get rid of this cough. There's lots of dust. Anyways, I contacted some electric companies, and I wanted to know what it would be, a rate, that is, to have the hot water switch, trip switch, move over to the sub panel, as well as the upstairs AC, without overloading the sub panel. And maybe there's some things in the sub panel that can be shifted back to the main panel. And I say it that way because it seems that things that are in the sub panel operate independent of the main panel. For instance, our pole lamp out front is on the sub panel, but it's not controlled by the main panel, and that's why certain things are confusing sometimes to me about the whole electric thing. No wonder I need an electrician. But if they say that, oh yeah, it's only going to take an hour, and factor in this, and we could do it for $300, I might do that. Why do I want to do that? Is because then I can use the 30 amp cord during the hot days and not worry about sweating out everybody from their bedrooms. And especially, it'd be nice to have hot showers. So that's all the plans that I have, and I'll let you know if we can continue forward with any type of journey on this, or if it's really going to come to a pause. And if it comes to a pause, I'm going to hesitate in doing many more updates, because I don't want to waste your time. And there you go for this update. Seeing that this is Sunday before Memorial Day, but this is going to be uploaded afterwards, I hope you had a wonderful Memorial Day and thought of all those that gave their lives for our country, that you didn't just say, could I have another burger, please, instead. And so, yes, blessings upon you. And have a good one. Take care.